Hello, welcome, and aloha from the island of Hawaii. I hope that you all are having a great day. Let's see today what our oracle card wants to say about the message. This is the Whispers of the Ocean deck, a new deck for myself. Couple more shuffles here. The card that was on the bottom when I began was something about being able to convey your message thoroughly from the heart. Okay, that's way too big. It just popped out. I'm seeing diving to a new depth. So we are in the resort at Waikoloa. Getting our R&R. Well, the cards are being a little shy, but then just as I say that, we have some popping out. Let's go ahead and take all of these messages. Under the deck, we have number 3, in the light of the moon. A full moon can shine light on what you've been resisting. This can be anything from your fears to your soul's beauty. Really love that card. It's this twilight energy, and we just had the full moon lunar eclipse in Libra, if you're following that. The first one that popped out was 46, facing your fears. So in the light of the moon, some type of fear has perhaps cropped up for some of us, either for ourselves or those that are close to us. Look for ways to strengthen your connection to the universe and to others. Stay peaceful and calm in the knowing of who you are. So when things seem to be chaotic, I would say that there is a fulcrum of balance, a tipping point in centering ourselves, grounding ourselves deeply in the knowing that even when the storms of life are having us feel like we're tilting off kilter, that there's a center, something that's unshakable and undeniable in ourselves. Let's see, number 22, this one came out already yesterday, I believe. Take note, number 22 with the seals. Your answers are being given to you. Quieting external voices and excessive noise will give you the chance to hear what is being offered. So when these fears crop up, it's not, so to speak, for nothing. The fears crop up so that we understand what's next. Number 28, and potentially gives us the ability to see two sides or multiple sides of a situation, the multi-dimensional aspects of something that's cropped up. Take a step back and try looking at this from a different perspective. So at the time of this full moon, which is just passed, but those energies persist for several months, especially depending on the intensity of how it connects with your own internal astrological natal makeup. So this little chunk, let's see what it unveils for us. Number 49, be insightful and established, which to me in the moment is feeling grounded and centered. Ground and rebalance your energy. Bring your awareness into the now rather than allowing it to occupy the past or the future. So something scary, some type of change or some type of transition is perhaps triggering us to feel fearful, but it's allowing us to have some type of perspective shift, and perhaps to assist us in recognizing what parts of our own personality and what elements within the circumstance are helping us to anchor and to not be blown off course in some type of path, journey, or goal pursuit. Number 34, the gift of neutrality. Balance is at work in your life. Yin and yang are opposites in energy, but reside side by side to create the gift of neutrality. So the shadow and the light aspects, the feminine and masculine, popped out in the last few days. So whether we are finding ourselves on one end of that spectrum or the other, it seems that there's this need to reflect, to ground, to process and integrate on the feminine aspects, but then to strategize, to plan out the next course of action based upon our arising fears and how that hits us personally. And to see this from neutrality is the ability to flow with demands of the situation, to alternately and at the same time to not lose ourselves in the polarity of shifting from one polar oppositional aspect to the other, but to allow ourselves to stand again at that fulcrum of balance, like the teeter-totter that has that one little tiny point of balance where things teeter and totter. 26, where you need to be. Acknowledge how you're feeling. Have faith the universe will take care of a current concern by providing the best possible outcome for all involved. So this change, it may not even seemingly be your own circumstance that's changing. I'm feeling perhaps this is a shift or a change occurring for somebody important to you. It may be a partner, a spouse, perhaps even the place of your employment or something, where maybe that business is being bought out or closing its doors. And so even though that extreme change is happening to them, there's a secondary ripple effect that's coming down and influencing our own either stability or our feeling of being secure and knowing the future is somewhat destabilized here. And if we can flow and understand here that we are open and ready to receive, that as this changes, I am not as flexible if I am caught up in fear and anxiety, but if I can trust in my own potential and faith that the universe will always provide, I can openly receive opportunities to open my mind and my heart to, well, what would I prefer? Maybe this job had some things that weren't in my best interest. Maybe I would have liked to make a little bit more money. Who wouldn't? And maybe someplace closer to home. Maybe someplace that's has more health benefits. And even in the course of a relationship or a change for your child or something, it's like as those individuals go through these changes, there's some type of growth and maturity process that's happening in facing these fears and being able to perhaps present other individuals with the ideas of faith in transition. Third eye chakra. Maybe intuitively you have already felt this change coming through, and maybe there's only just the barest inkling of resistance, but still having that resistance there is important. Some type of acknowledgement here will help us to choose better in the future. Be insightful and established. Yeah, both sides established. Interesting. Conception and allowance. I mean, for some, maybe it's the unexpected conception of a child for self or someone else. or conceiving of a new idea. Maybe you have a brilliant plan or project. We had that coming up yesterday, where we've had this idea or inkling, and perhaps in having this brilliant idea, unexpectedly your job closes, and it's the universe saying, you know, we already gave you this brilliant idea, and now we're going to give you just a little push that feels like pushing us off the end of the pier into the deep end of the water. But perhaps it's just saying, would you have the confidence to do this and to quit the day job if the day job hadn't stopped on its own? And now there's this opportunity where you could go and do another day job, or there's this project, there's this inspiration. So 26, where you need to be, acknowledge how you're feeling. Those fears are not always false evidence appearing real, so to speak, but maybe we have to have faith that changes and transitions and fear-inducing circumstances are actually divine intervention and putting us on the track of where we do need to be. It's putting us exactly where we need to be. So tantric journey, it's again with that yin yang coming out. It's the above and the below, the Shiva Shakti energy, that divine inner union that is so powerful. And power often comes with almost this profound sense of fear, because even our inner power, it's like when we tap into those powerful realms, it can be unprecedented in our lives. But when we can trust it and engage that power at the center from a place of being grounded and aligned with those opportunities that are inviting us to become delighted and excited and tapped in, tuned in, turned on. It's like that's when the passion can start to speak and to channel through all of our sensibilities, and our sensual nature starts to awaken and become enlivened. The passion starts to lead us down some type of a path where, if we cannot really tap into that powerful invitation to become trusting in that process, that's where the fear starts to show us the shadow elements instead of the enlightening opportunities that are presenting. So let's see, we have remembrance. Perhaps this is bringing us to a point where something else similar has happened. For some of us, I was thinking and speaking about a situation to someone this morning about the process of a family member that recently died, and part of this reminded me of situations that happened when my mother died several years ago. It seems like yesterday. These things are core memories. I wanted to almost say core wounds, but is it really? But there's that remembrance, and we can be quite triggered, and we can think that the information that we learned at that time serves this situation, and it does, but also there's these triggered fears and remembrances of things that we wish that we had known. The frequency of remembrance supports our memory of everything we've gone through as a soul in body, providing us with valuable information and tools to flow gracefully with and in this life. So to me, this is always a throwback to also the remembrance of things that happened prior to incarnation for some of us. Sometimes those triggered cultural connections, like many of us that are how do I say, engaged with the spiritual aspects. We have these soul remembrances that connect us across cultures, across genders. And there's an idea that we are more than the sum of our parts on the material level. And I believe that what I'm seeing here is that when we're caught up in fears, that it's more than just the material plane. There is definitely a divine intervention at play. And so both sides are almost like the reliable, practical side of this incarnation, this body, these needs to pay our bills and to have a home and all of these things. However, there's also the other side of the coin, the other side of the veil that's being spoken about and sensed by the deeper soul self. And if we can become a little more neutral, then we can push beyond the other side of the veil to create the insight that helps us move beyond fears and to establish ourselves in the core of our soul and to be enlightened by the moon instead of fearful in the moon, because the moon represents both confusion and intuition and the brilliance even that comes during the lunar influence, that lunacy and brilliance that can seem crazy, like maybe taking that leap of faith to invest in your own projects seems impractical, it seems unreliable, it doesn't have that predictable paycheck. But does it create that passion? Does it create a niche? And maybe you could see that based on previous circumstances that you always land on your feet. Even if you're knocked down, you've gotten up one more time, then you were knocked down, then why can't you do it again? And what's the worst that can happen if you did decide to go and do your own thing? That maybe when things come down, in a worst case scenario, you might need to take another job. So be it. But is the risk part of you superseding the fear? And it's like, what would life be if we never took those risks? And we would never know the capacity that we have, the brilliance that we have that's sitting here waiting for us to unlock it and to tap into that and to be inspired and passionate and alive and awake. And maybe our forefathers and foremothers have taught us to be cautious in care for us. But maybe it's time for us to even be bigger and better and bolder than ever before. Here we have the divine feminine, the ability to receive, the ability to trust and to nurture self and others. Something about serving others, but also serving self. Earth. Earth, definitely those practical, physical aspects and elements, taking care of self and other. Perhaps it's not enough to just take that paycheck. Perhaps it won't pay the bills to just do what we are so-called qualified to do. But if we were to step out, then there is so much more potential. Let's see a few more. I knew it was going to come out. There's the divine masculine. Coming over where you need to be, acknowledging how we feel, having faith that the universe will take care of a current concern and provide the best possible outcome for all concerned. I love that. It's like being able to receive, but also to push boldly beyond fear, beyond that threshold of fear. Look at that magic card coming out next. Feel a little jolt of adrenaline as that comes out. It's like the excitement of, is it possible? Can I do it? Is the message, yes, go, go. And some of you will have to take that as your own. Conception. So there's an idea here of the birth of a magical potential and the seizing of our own magical capacity to create change here. I just want to get a couple more. I like that. Dynamic and delight. Beautiful. So the safe route is not always the most inspirational path. And dynamic to me today, it seems like there are a lot of moving parts to this. There are a lot of factors to take into consideration. But to me, it seems like there's so much chaos. And when there's so much chaos, the ability to receive the intuitive sparks, this insight, and to then anchor those into the divine push for what is the universe telling me to do, what would create the most heartfelt, passionate, exciting connection with this life, with this body, with this experience, and how can we really harness all of that and create something incredible and inspiring for the world. One more realization. So it seems that in the course of being stirred up and having some type of fear, there's an awakening idea of the options, the safe route and the heartfelt route, perhaps. And underneath Tantric Journey, we have authority, emergence, change, and romantic love. Interesting. So for some of this definitely may be coming on the heels of some type of a breakup, divorce, or even moving from stagnation and boredom into the invitation for romance. So there's something here eluding me. Authority. The authority card is like we have the choice to go the safe route or the exciting route here, to keep things the same, or to challenge ourselves and move into uncharted waters. Under the deck we have rejuvenation. So maybe it's the inspiration that comes through change when we can, instead of being caught up in fear, we can take the other invitation to love deeply and thoroughly here. Under the deck, we have fairy magic once again. So yeah, being able to move away from distractions and disengagement, boredom, or the everyday, the practical concerns, and to be able to move into inspiration, intuitive sparks, and this can happen even in established situations. Yeah, because we have be insightful and established. Let's keep going. Violet Flame, that one came out yesterday. Saint Germain's Violet Flame is invoked to assist ourselves in our healing of our mind, body, spirit. Healing across timelines even. Innocence. Interesting, that one comes over the Delight card. And Gifted. It seems here that the divine intervention is telling us that something is awakening, and with remembrance here, this very well could be an awakening of our gifts from other timelines, other incarnations even, or even spontaneously just available, because we can all choose something that doesn't even have to do with the past. It can do with the future, something coming down the pipeline that we can jump track. We can quantum leap into new avenues and new expressions at any given time, just by tapping in and tuning into the collective. We can be inspired in ways that have no bearing on our existing, but are completely spontaneous. Yeah, there's something coming in here for us through this healing where we are the embodiment of love. And with Tantric Journey, this, and we already saw the romantic love. We've got masculine and feminine here. It's like the reawakening of the love prospect here. Reawakening an existing love, or even the universal love here through fully engaging in love of self. Because Tantric Journey, I'm sure many of you will find that is more an indicator of love between two individuals, but it can also represent the deep, grounded core union of the inner divine feminine and masculine, the merging of higher and supposed lower self. But innocence and gifted, it's like we are gifted healers. We are gifted intuitives. We're gifted mediums. Whatever is coming into you, there's this idea that the extent of your magical capacity is more than perhaps you've even witnessed. And even in your full remembrance of everything you have already accomplished or been able to embody as this healer or medium or psychic in any type of a way, there's an innocence here that you're being awakened to a deepening of your power and potential. And I'm sensing that this is something that with prayer and meditation and deep focus upon the self, the ability to move beyond fear and to harness the above and below and to create that momentum within the self. It's like by aligning ourselves to love, to innocent, spontaneous, authentic love, is gifting us the healing necessary to acknowledge that powerful inner flame that's ready to be birthed, shifting. That green is definitely telling me it's a heart-based shift. Bold, what did I say? Fearless. I love the card that says fearless here. So under, or on the gifted card, we've got the realization of our neutrality, and we are fearlessly moving forward. One more, with the assistance, the divine intervention here. So yeah, I love that fear came up in several cards at the beginning, but now we're getting that fearless card. What's under fairy magic? Feline. There is definitely something with that feline energy. There's a star system that's something with cat energy. I don't know it. I'll look it up after this broadcast, but if you know it, comment below. You may find that you have some roots in that star system, or that it speaks to you in some type of a way. But there's a divine intervention to help us move beyond this level of fear, to be able to conceive of the depth and the power of our magic as it's coming fully online. And it definitely has to do with our ability to heal self and others with our innocent divine love. And that innocent love, that spontaneous, universal, unconditional love, is incredible at this point. So I'm about at the end of the video. I hope that gave you something inspirational. I'd love to give just another little panorama in case you haven't seen the other videos. This is Waikoloa. That's the cove inlet of the ocean, and we have all of these glorious pools and all of this beautiful laughter and enjoyment of all the individuals, water slides and man-made waterfalls here at the resort. It's just a glorious place. Take it all in. There's a saltwater lagoon. Yesterday I saw this seal come out in our broadcast here. I accidentally tried to swim up to the man-made waterfall, and there was a monk seal, female, over there basking in the waterfall flow, and I didn't realize I was coming up on it, and everybody started shouting, so I had to move away. But what a glorious natural habitat here. It's just so beautiful. It's such a paradise. And we have a little area over there with dolphins, which, yeah, the dolphins are in captivity, which is a little sad, beyond the scope of this broadcast, perhaps. And we saw some sea turtles in the lagoon. It's incredible. I hope that if any of you have the capacity to travel and to get out and rest, relax, and rejuvenate yourselves, that you take the time to do that. So I hope that you're able to get something good out of this broadcast, and I'm looking forward to coming back again. We'll take a few days off for our travels here to get back home to our cooler climates with less palm trees soon. So take care and check back again for other timeless messages in the meantime, and take care of you. We'll talk again soon.